Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Wednesday, guys. Happy Wednesday morning. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. So, guys, today I'm going to combine two emails with one. The first is in regards to dating or even marrying projects as well as addiction. Okay, so I had a young lady who emailed me, and she was just saying all of her life, it seems like all she attracts is projects, meaning individuals that she want to fix up, kind of like fixer-upper, right? You see the potential when you're trying everything in your power to create this individual to be what you want them to be, the man you want them to be, or the woman you want them to be. So you exhaust all of your energy, your time, your strength, all that good stuff in hopes that you can create this person to be the partner that you would like for them to be. This is very common, extremely common. As I always tell people, be gentle with yourself. We only know what we know. I mean, life is about growth, right? Life is about climbing, things like that. So you got to stop beating yourself up. The key is once you know better, then you do better. All right, so let's talk about, excuse me, guys. Let's talk about projects. Well, since you're a woman, and obviously since I'm a woman, I'm going to go ahead and just address it from a woman's standpoint. We're nurturers. We're just nurturers. I mean, we just want to take care of everything and everybody. It will be that way to the end of time. It is what it is. I mean, we can't change that. We are nurturers and men are providers. So we just have to get to the point that it is what it is. However, we have to be very wise and use discernment when we are, quote unquote, vetting partners, etc. One thing that I always say, and this is for any area in your life, never change your big heart. Never change your gift of serving. Never change that big heart. Instead, change who you give it to. Because there are individuals out here who will receive you exactly the way that you should be received. And these individuals will be extremely grateful for you. But never allow experiences or circumstances, sometimes one too many, where then you grow this wall, like this wall of just resentment. And it's almost like, you know what, I got burned too many times. I'm tired of giving my heart to people that just, I'm tired of just investing in people. And then when I invest in them and I kind of build them up, then they leave me for the next person. If you're not careful, all of those experiences like that can really cause you to build up a wall. And when that right person, that person that was always meant, designed, and ordained for you, right? Not who you choose, but the person that God has always had for you. If you have that wall up, what are you going to do? You're going to miss your blessing. You're going to miss your blessing because you're looking at this person as the individuals who you choose. Remember, there's a complete different outcome when we choose versus finally getting in alignment and allowing God to choose. And we're moving in God's will, God's purpose. That's completely different. That's a safe place over there. But when we're choosing from ourselves, then we have to monitor it ourselves. We have to, and are we even capable of doing that? Are we even capable of doing that? So, excuse me, guys. So in reality, again, never change your heart, but make sure you're using wisdom. Make sure you're using discernment when you are meeting individuals, and stop just throwing everything out to a person. Let them, versus like just throwing it all out there and what you possess and what you carry and all that, right? Because some people do that. It's like they try to put all that stuff to the forefront, hoping that would make the person choose them or want them more. And all you're doing is really creating this space for someone to come in and use you and whatever it is that you have. So if you have the gift to build people up, understand that that's a beautiful purpose and a beautiful calling, but that doesn't mean it has to be relationship. Go to the homeless shelter, go to the orphanage, pour into these people, build these people up. But when it comes down to you potentially getting into a relationship or a marriage with someone because you see potential, and then once that relationship starts, and then you realize you're not getting the results you want, now you're calling him by his name. Now he's lazy, he's trifling, he's this, he's that, but you chose him. And not saying that the individual should be perfect, because at the end of the day, we all can use a boost. We all can use iron sharpening iron, right? That's a very powerful relationship. It's not a comfortable one, but that's a very powerful relationship when iron can sharpen iron. And you got strength, weaknesses, and you take them and you kind of shuffle them around and whole 9 yards. That's a powerful relationship. That's a powerful dynamic. But when you're choosing people based on looks, on money, because we have children together, because we have finances tied up together, because they're comfortable, and I've known them all my life, and etc., 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 you will not create someone to be what you want. You will find yourself overwhelmed, frustrated, cussing every day, acting a fool, because you're trying to create a person that you want them to be. That's you. That person may not want to be the person you're trying to. You're okay. So this person never said that they want to be a business owner. Let's just say, for example, this person never said that to you. In fact, when you met this person, he told you about all his dreams and all his desires. He told you he was a 50-year-old rapper. He told you, yeah, you know, nobody will give me a chance. Like, he's giving you all this stuff. I can do that. I've done that. But first of all, you don't even see any groundwork, right? But he's giving you all that. He never said that he wanted to be a business owner. He said he wanted to be a 50-year-old rapper. It is what it is. If he wants to be a 50-year-old rapper, it is what it is. Jay-Z is. Dr. Dre is. And I think they need to do it until the wheels fall off, for real. Right? I'm not one of these people who feel like, oh, because now you're 50, you can't be a rapper. Right? I'm not talking about in this. Let me be clear. I'm not speaking about starting rapping at 15. I'm speaking about somebody who's already solidified, like Jay-Z, Dr. Dre. Like, these dudes got it. You got plenty of celebrities out here who are 50, 60 plus and still doing their thing. But who is society to tell someone to stop doing something because they're not at a certain age? Even though these people are still making a living. So I'm talking about that, not someone starting rapping at 50. But the point I'm making is this. He told you clearly he wanted to be a rapper. He never told you he wanted to be a businessman. You created this whole narrative in your mind on how you can clean him up, put him in a tub, put a cap full of bleach, scrub him up real good. You know, get him some nice bellies, nice button down, nice Caesar cut and line up. You got all this vision in your head. Smelling good. Get them some chrome. Get them some chrome. Right. Okay. On another note, listen. For real, chrome? Listen, I've smelled some great colognes. Don't get me wrong. But there's something about that chrome. Not the new one. The old one. Like in that square clear bottle. Chrome will have you fall on somebody from elevator to elevator. Listen. Kizzy, okay, let me get back. Listen, I had a flashback. All right, you clean him up, and now you're going to make him a businessman. You're going to make him a businessman, honey. Yes, you're going to make him a businessman. Y'all about to take over the world. Now, you done start this business. He not showing up because he at the studio 3 o'clock in the morning, right? He's 50, so he can't just hop up like that. He got to get going. He got to warm up. Now, you're mad. Now, he's trifling, but he never told you he wanted to be a businessman. That's you. So instead, if you want a businessman, then you wait and you dismiss everybody else until you meet that businessman or the individual who is proven to be someone who you can go into business with and do the right thing. because you've checked their history. We got to stop trying to make, that's the most frustrating. Let me tell you, listen, I'm speaking from experience here now. Listen, I had a project. But it wasn't no 50-year-old rapper. It was just more so less trying to get people to see almost like our vision as a woman. And men just don't think like women, period. And vice versa, and period. But at the same time, when we choose, it's just going to be hell. It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell, right? When we wait on God, it's going to be iron sharpening iron, but you're going in one direction, if that makes sense. You're going to have all the same, what's the word? All the same, I don't know, when your thought process is like all going in one direction. Same values, things like that. All right. So that's all I have to say about that. But no, sister, I do not believe that you can build it. I always say this, think about it. Think about the one area that you want to change, right? That you want to change for yourself. How hard is it to change that area? How hard is it for you to change an area that you were conditioned in? If you yourself can't work on and change that one small area, what makes you think you can change a whole human being? You can't change one area within yourself, but you want to change a whole individual who've been here 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. You're not going to change people. And even if you're forcing them and giving them an ultimatum, it's temporarily just to close your mouth. They will do the right thing for some weeks, for some months, even for a year. But then they're going to get frustrated with you because now they're living a lie. That's not them. So now you got all this chaos going on because rather than you wait on God, you chose a whole project. Anybody got time for that? Anybody got time for that? Nobody got time for that, right? Okay. All right, so there, I'm done with that. All right, addiction. This is a very, very, very controversial topic for different reasons. People see it from different perspective because people have different experiences with it. For example, an individual who was raised with a parent who was an addict, they lived that life, meaning they experienced all that hardship. They experienced the rejection, the heartbreak, the abandonment, the chaos, all that stuff. So you can expect them to see and understand addiction, that someone who may be a counselor, because maybe they themselves were an addict in the past and now they're trying to get others to understand that most people don't want to be addicted, if not all, don't want to be addicted, but their body chemistry is dependent on it, etc. So you can have a room full of people and you're going to have half who understands it and they sympathize and empathize, and then you're going to have half who want to basically throw all of them down the drain. Seriously. Whoo! I've had a conference doing this as well. All right, here's my thing. First thing first. You have some people who say that addiction is a disease. Some say that addiction is a choice. I stand in the middle. I believe it's both. It's both. Let me explain. It is first a choice to pick it up and try it. That's a choice. Unless you didn't have that choice, because some people didn't have that choice. Some people were addiction or drugs were forced on them in different scenarios. I know about 2 people literally who got tied up in like stick with some needles. And I know one person, well, she actually passed away this past year. She's a business partner of mine, actually. And she was dating this guy and he put some hair on or something in her drink and boom, addicted overnight. So she didn't choose it. But now you have individuals who choose it by picking up that meth, heroin, crack, whatever the case, pills. I don't think they assume they will get addicted. And then, of course, you have people to say, well, what do you mean? Everybody knows what a crackhead goes through. People see crackheads on the corner. So how didn't you think you would get addicted? Well, maybe they didn't know that their body chemistry had become dependent on it. We all are different. We all have different body chemistries. So that person may have started that substance of their choice because they were masking pain. Most people, if not all, when you really do your research, have been traumatized horribly. This can be molestation, especially for men, because that's women as well, don't get me wrong, but with men, that's way deeper. Molestation, beaten, abused, locked in closets for days at a time. Like, there's so many different ways where individuals who are traumatized, and I'm not saying that that's the only way, right, that people end up into addictions because they were traumatized, all right? Some people had normal lives and still end up addicts. But the point is, most times people end up trying to escape pain by masking it. So when they start smoking weed, right? And child, you're going to be about the weed. I'm speaking about addiction. I'm not speaking about your weed. If you love weed, smoke your weed, honey. I'm just saying there are people who literally walk around like chimneys because they're addicted to weed, meaning 24 hours a day. I just had a flashback. I'll tell you about that. I was inside the store. I'll get into that. But this guy, he couldn't even, I don't even know how he did it. His eyes weren't even open, but he counted the money, right? Everything. I'd never seen anything like it, honey, but he was high as a kite. Okay, anyway, when that person started whatever that drug of choice was, right, it started with masking pain. Sometimes they don't even realize it. They're just thinking I'm having a good time, I'm partying, and then they kind of find out, right, on the back end, like, whoa, I'm not feeling any pain. I'm not thinking about the trauma. I'm not thinking about the abuse. I'm not thinking, woo. And so before you know it, what happens? It continues on and on. Now they may be whatever, drinking, smoking, whatever, once a week. Now 3 times a week. Then before you know it, it's 7 days a week. A year have passed, 10 years have passed, and so on. Okay. So again, I believe it's a choice to first pick it up if you have that option. And then I believe it does turn into a disease because your body now becomes chemically dependent on it. Have you ever seen anyone in withdrawal? Have you ever seen anyone in withdrawal? That can be an alcoholic from when they get the shakes, going into seizures. Withdrawal can kill you within itself, believe it or not. That's why they want to monitor you when you're going through withdrawal, right? Have you ever seen a heroin addict going through withdrawal? So you don't think that's your body being chemically dependent on something? That's a disease. So they keep getting more and more and more and more because the withdrawals are too much for them. So it's not like they want to keep drinking or smoking or tooting or whatever they got going on. It's just that those withdrawals kicking in, it's almost like mind you, addiction speaks to you. So this is why you have people who relapse all the time. This is how you have people who tell you, hey, I'm coming back. I'll be to work at 5, or I'll be to your house at 5. Do you know when they leave you, they really mean that? They really mean that. They really think they will be back at 5. Most times they're not lying intentionally. They believe that. And then the addiction starts to talk to them. Well, just a quick one. You'll be back there at 5. Just take a quick one right quick. And when you take that quick one, what happens? They can't stop. And now they don't show, they're stealing, whatever the case may be. The addiction lies to them. All right. So now again, when your body is chemically dependent on it, it's now a disease. My opinion, all caps, my opinion. But how do you ask a child or even an adult who experienced this in childhood, a parent who was never there, a parent who would fight them because maybe the child hid the money from the mama or the father, a parent who would abuse them, a parent who would leave them hungry, but spend the last $20 on some crack? How do you tell a child or an adult to understand that addiction is extremely hard and that most people don't make it out, so they should be grateful that their parent is still here? How did you get them to see that when they experience all of the hell and turmoil? I know a person who parent sold them to all the, they were a little girl and the parent sold them, the child, to the dope dealers. So now this 8-year-old child. So how do you try to get anybody to understand that a person cannot control the addiction or kick the habit. Individuals like that, you can't even have a conversation with them when it comes down to trying to get them to understand that it could be it is a disease at some point. They don't want to hear anything you have to say. And guess what? I get it wholeheartedly. I get it. I get why they feel that way. And this is why when you have adults who are now grown and now they're doing the right thing, they may be clean now, and then they're coming back to their adult children trying to say some things like, but that's my past. Why do you keep holding my past? And that's is frustrating on both ends, because you got the person, the parent, who's now trying to do the right thing. And there's nothing more frustrating than when you really have change. Like that can be like even somebody cheated and they now have really, really reformed themselves, and the person is still throwing the cheating, even though the cheating happened 30 years ago, the person is still using that against them. That's very frustrating. So now you got the parent who's trying to help their child as well as the grandchildren understand that, hey, I'm no longer that person, that drug had me, that drug was a demon. And how do you get that person who experienced the loss as a child to understand that? So now that person is frustrated. Now you got the other person who's extremely frustrated. Like, listen, I don't hate none of that. Right? You were gone for 20 years. You didn't even raise me. I don't hate nothing you're talking about. I don't care if you're clean now. You missed 20 years. Period. Life is crazy. This stuff happens all the time. I'm telling you. All the time. And so now you got both people frustrated, which it is absolutely insane. But I'll say this, regardless if you believe it's a disease or a choice, or like me, both, no one will be healed until that addict is ready. I don't care how much you pray. Well, please pray for them, right? Okay. I don't care how much you try to force their hand, until they're ready, until they hit rock bottom, they will not change. So then, I do believe also that it's also a choice to get healed. As hard as it's going to be, meaning you got to now get past these withdrawals. And I think some of these drugs, the withdrawal can be like 2 weeks, right? You got to now make that conscious decision mentally that I'm going to have to get past these withdrawals. Of course, you're going to have to follow up with, AAA and all those other, what is it called? Like sober living, things like that. You're going to have to follow up with that, because personally, I believe in order for people to really get healed, this is my opinion, and I know people get healed all the time, right, from addiction. You have to, first and foremost, it's spiritual, right? You got to ask God to give you grace and to give you power, right? So you walk hand in hand with God, but you do still have to admit yourself in whatever way that is for you, hospital or sober living or whatever the case may be. It's going to have to be both. You know, people always thinking we can pray things away. Prayer, listen, prayer is powerful, but we still have a part to play. So you can pray all day long for people with mental illness, or for your child who might be going through depression, and just pray. Yes, pray. But you still have to take a step too. And I believe personally, those are the people who will have the best outcome when they're doing both. Spiritually connected, as well as doing your part by attending your meetings or whatever. Because addiction, most times, if not all, from my understanding, you will always have that. Well, people who I talk to, especially because I'm constantly talking to homeless people and things like that. From my understanding, the majority, I won't say all, I've talked to maybe 2 who say like they have, because they give it all to God, they now have zero craving, they can be around it, it doesn't affect them, etc. But for the majority of the individuals that I spoke with, they say it's a fight every day. Those demons are talking to them every day. The demons are trying to get them to, hey, take one puff and that'll be it, just today. And they believe it, and they try to take that one, and boom, back in this full-blown addiction. So it may be a lifelong struggle for most people. Demons multiply. So you're talking about people who walk around with demons, right? Let's just say somebody who was maybe molested, raped, etc., all that stuff in childhood. All right, first of all, you're carrying around all those people demons. All those people who've entered you, you're carrying around all their demons. Now the addiction is taking and multiplying those demons, and all this stuff is going on. Now you're plagued with demons. How can you have the strength to fight an addiction on your own? So this is why I always say you don't give up on people so easy, right? Now that's one thing I got strength in. I don't give up on people easy. If I've given up on you, I've exhausted all of my energy, all of my hold on 1 second, guys. How did the baby get loose? She saw that baby run out of your hand. She saw that baby. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. That wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm sitting in the parking lot, and a lady this baby couldn't maybe be one, well, two. I'll say two. And the baby, she was holding the baby hand. Oh God, Lord have mercy. So she was holding the baby hand, right? But he broke away. Because I could see she had a bag in one hand and she was holding on, and she tried to, when he did break away, she was trying to hold on to grab his coat sleeve, but he took off. And you could tell he's bad. He's a child, but he's too. But you know how you can look at a child and tell whether it's bad. He's a cutie, but you can tell he is. Woo! So the baby literally ran. And I saw her running behind the baby, but I couldn't see. I thought she was just... And the more she tries to run to grab him, the faster his little bad butt is running. And then here come this older lady who's driving. She's older, so she wasn't even stopping. And so she had... The young lady with the baby literally had to bang on this lady's window. The older lady driving said she didn't see the baby. Potentially, she's older. And again, the baby's 2, very small. But I guess with me, I'm so paranoid with things like that. Like, if we're walking out of the store in the busy parking lot, I'm carrying you. At 2, I'm carrying you, right? So, I mean, there's no right or wrong. The child broke away from her, whatever. But that was just not supposed to happen just now, but it did. So I think I finished up, guys. But yeah, so ultimately, like I said, if anyone is dealing with addiction, things like that, in all honesty, until they get to the point that they're ready, sometimes you're going to have to walk away, because what happens is it consumes your life as well, because now they're calling you with 35 different excuses on why they did what they did. It's all lies, and they give you the best of the best of the best lies, because mind you, they've been doing this for a long time, so they know what works and what do not work, right? But if you're using wisdom and discernment, you see through all that. You're just like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. You talking? Listen, all right, I know what it is. I know what it is, so just save it. I know what it is. You got to really deal with them like that, because they'll think they're dealing with the fool. Like, girl, boy, listen. If you want to talk to me, let's keep it real, right? Okay, no judgment over here. I'ma still love you. I might get upside your head, but I still love you. Right? We call each other out on our vices. We all have vices. Period. Yours is addiction. Mine is patience. A lack of patience. So let's all live together. So anyway, guys, I hope this helps you. My whole thought process is thrown off, honestly, from, what I just seen just now. But all is well. But I know he's going to get his butt cut when he get home, honey. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.